The content on this channel has been created for adults. If you're not at least 13 years of age or older, then please do not watch this content. Sorry, dude. Come back when you're 13.
Yeah, baby girl. You know what I want to do. Come on. Yeah, baby girl.
What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. It's your homie Faith Chase, aka Crossifex, aka Chosen Effect, back on the deck, getting ready to wreck the set. And don't you forget, guys, always a pleasure. This actually is what I was searching for. I was searching for this because let me tell you what was going on a few minutes ago. And actually, I've just been feeling this kind of way even since like last night. I think a little bit, like maybe even over the last few days. I don't know what it is. I think there's a little bit of a feeling of just I don't want to call it depression or anything like that, you know, but I definitely notice, I just feel personally within myself, like I don't know if it's my soul or what is exactly, but I notice I feel a little bit like not lackadaisical even, but just I don't know, it's just like a little bit like it's hard to explain. I don't even know what it is, you know what I mean? Like I feel like even when I wake up, I've just felt a little bit like you know, a little bit like, you know what I mean? And I think we all go through that sometimes, you know, like, but for me, I noticed once I turned this camera on and I started talking to you guys, and the first second, like the minute it happened, I just noticed a joy. Like I felt really like, you know, like just really, really kind of just alive or invigorated or excited or feeling, I just felt my energy levels rise up, you know, I felt in a different place. My mind just kind of, it's almost like a switch just switched on, and I went, woo, okay, I feel good, I feel better, you know what I mean? Like I think we all go through these stages, and I think this is probably the longest for me, that because I guess also I'm used to just every single day I was always out, you know, outside in the fresh air. I was, you know, I had to be outside every day. Every single day I was always, there would be a point where I was having to go out every day, and I was seeing, even if I didn't want to see people, you'd see people, you know, and things like that. You know, I think I'm a very social person by design. I've always been that kind of person who's always been, I'm a people person. I think that's what we call it. But I noticed the past, it's been now that, you know, I've been here, I've been able to not have to go out every day. And I haven't had to see people every day. I was, you know, it's been, you know, it's like, yeah, it's been, in one, you know, like hand, it's really good because I'm not having to stress about everyone who's out there who acts like this freaking crazy pandemic doesn't exist. But then on the other hand, there's a part of me who I think that's what it is. I just miss being able to grab my camera, go out and vlog, do whatever I want, you know, film stuff, just whatever I want, just hop in the car, even probably a plan, and just go drive for freaking 2 hours, 3 hours, or do whatever, and just feel relaxed to do so, and feel like I can enjoy it. If I want to then pull over and eat something, you know, I feel like, oh great, I'll just get something to eat and have a fun time and make a day of it, you know. I haven't done that, and every day there's something else that just, I think on the flip side, that makes me kind of go like, you know what I mean? Like you know, if you turn the news on, you're bound to, you know, to yourself. If every time I turn YouTube, because my YouTube, I get notifications when NBC, CBS, ABC, whoever, CNN, Sky News, like whenever anyone drops something, I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening now. And then next thing you know, it's just always doom and gloom. I think that's what it is as well. Like, there's just not enough like cheerful, happy, joy news going on in the world that gets you feeling excited and happy about anything. And then everything that you think can give you a little happiness, if you actually did your research on it, I'm going to do a video on this because I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? What are we supposed to do? You know what I mean? Because like everything, no matter how the little joy you can find in certain things, you can always, if you do your research, if you actually take a moment to research every single thing, dude, everything, I'm talking everything they say is bad for you, dude, like everything. Like, I'm so gonna do a video or podcast, something on this topic because it drives me nuts. Oatmeal, dude. I found out this is probably why I'm feeling a little this way, because oatmeal is my little pleasure. And I thought, it's out of the things I could be eating, it's not that bad for you. Then I find out that the oats that they potentially what's it called? Glidonites or I don't even remember the name of it, man. It starts with G. It's what they use to kill weeds with, man. That pesticide, whatever they use to kill weeds. And apparently that stuff is abundant allegedly, but abundant in oats and freaking vegetables, like potatoes, all kinds of stuff. It's there, man. And it's like, dude, you think you're eating healthy or at least a healthier option, but then you find out that they're using things on this stuff that can kill you. Like, dude, are you serious? It can cause cancer and stuff. Like, you'll be shocked at the things that you think you're eating is actually, oh, this is great, I can go ahead and load up on this. Bro, like, no. It's, I researched I was trying to figure out what in 2020 can I actually eat, dude. Like, everything that you think is good for you is like, you know what I mean? I was destroyed, dude. Little Debbie oatmeal cakes, besides the oats that are apparently now bad for you, but there's this other carotene or whatever it's called. It starts with C. I forgot the name of it again. But Carrigan or something like that. That's in there. That also apparently can cause negative like effects, really bad negative ones, like cancer or something like that. Like water, bottled water, dude. Like, tap water. You can, I won't drink bottled water. I'll drink out of the tap. The tap water has fluoride, all these things. Like, if you read everything, you can't even, matter of fact, you can't even breathe air in because it's bad for you. You can't even walk down the street because you're breathing air, and that's bad for you as well. And then, it's just everything. The sun, the sun, man. Too much sun, bad for you, man. Even though it's good for you, it's bad for you. That's the thing. They make you think certain things and go like, oh yeah, that's good for you. That's good. I can have that. That's good. And then you go, oh, but it's also bad for me. It's like, what do I do? What planet is this, man? What is this life, man? I gotta freaking do a video on this, but I'm not gonna do it now. But I think that's what it's just. I think it's a lot of those type of things that just after a while, all of us kind of get. You know what I mean? And it can make you wake up feeling a little bit like, here we go, You spend freaking 30 minutes, 60 minutes, trying to figure out what you're going to eat because you suddenly realize that everything you have in your freaking kitchen is probably not going to be the best thing for you, even if it's vegetables, even corn, even all these things. So I've got things I love to eat now, so it's like, I think you got to go back and do what my mom used to say all the time. My mom used to say, all you can do is just pray over it, you know what I mean, and just hope for the best. You just got to pray over it and just keep on keeping on and hope for the best, because everything, you do your homework. You will not find one thing. You will not find one thing that doesn't have something negative attached to it. Not one thing. Not one thing. I challenge you to try to find one thing. Because even if you found, if hypothetically, let's say if you could find one thing like beans, for example. Oh, but then the beans, you know, that you get from the supermarket, a lot of stuff is not even, it's not only the food you have to worry about, right? That how it's grown, what they've used in it, blah, 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 these other things. But then it's also freaking the packaging, right? How did they package it? What do they do? So imagine then, on top of all the freaking stuff that we have to worry about in normal days, right? Every single day. Then you have to worry about the corona on top of that. So now you're not only freaking about the packaging, you worry about, oh my gosh, if I touch this and if I didn't wash my hands right, or if I didn't do this, are we still washing packages? Is that a thing? Are we still washing our packages, guys? Is anyone still doing that? Or should we be? I'm still doing it, but I mean, you know, you certain times you get certain packages and you end up having to throw it out because you realize there was a hole in the bag that you didn't realize the water somehow could seep through, which I guess that's a good thing that you realize that, because think of many times you've eaten things in the package that's probably had some hole you didn't notice. And then when you put water on a bag, you can notice and see the wetness in the bag and you go, what the freak? That's not even airtight. That's not even, I could have got sick, you know? I just don't know, man. Like, every single thing, dude. Every single thing, you know, there's like, you have to play this balancing game. You have to, pros and cons game, I guess, with food, with going outside, with air, with everything. You have to take a calculated risk for everything you do. Like, it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, this is just the stuff like that. Think about the things out of your control. Walking across the street, hopping into a car, you know, freaking taking an airplane. Like, there's so many things. If you sit and think about it all, it'll drive you nuts. And then there's the big one that none of us apparently can escape from, which allegedly happens to every single person, which is death. Like, so your life, from the moment you're born, you already told that is going to be short-lived, because one day you can't escape this ultimate event in your life. Argumentatively, what happens from that event, everyone has a different idea or belief, I should say, of what happens at that point, which again is enough to freaking just, you know, right, when you figure out life and you figure out all this stuff, and then you realize, oh wait, but there's more. All the different diseases outside of corona that has just been thrown in our face that we've already have no cures and no freaking answers for, that is killing people left and right, like cancer, taking our loved ones. There's so many things, man. So how do we, in all of that, how do we snap out of it? What is that magic thing for everybody to get you freaking back on track, feeling like, okay, yeah, I found a little happiness and joy, I feel like I'm going. Is that, what is your, it's kind of like just a distraction, really. What helps you get your mind out of that place, you know? Every single person on this planet, what are you doing to get your mind out of that place? You know, this is my suggestion, and it's just my thoughts based on my own experience, and that's why I decided to just freaking make this video really quick before going into another reaction, which I was going to do, and then I just freaking went into this mode here. I was like, what is life, dude? Seriously, what is life? What is it? It's crazy, right? And I think the answer is really what I say every single day. I think that's the answer. I think if we can figure out how to actually tap into that every single day, find a way to let go and just do that, I think that every single person on this planet, I think you will be okay. And I think the answer is this: to live each moment to the fullest. Okay? To live each moment to the fullest. To live each moment to the fullest and keep it off tap. I say this every day, and I think that is the answer, because living life to the fullest, in doing so, means you're going to find this one word that is so powerful. And I think that one word is enough for you to tackle all those questions and all those different things that are so scary when you sit there and allow your mind to get lost in that. And that one word is gratitude, dude. I say it, I believe it, I feel it. Being thankful. Being thankful for what you do have, being thankful for every second that you have, and cherishing that moment and knowing that through it all, that moment, this moment right here, every one of those, you have that. You can embody that. You can cherish that. You can live it to the fullest. You be in gratitude for that you do have. Find the things to be thankful for in your life. Find those things, those moments, those memories, those seconds that, you find enjoyment in whatever it is, whether it's in having a nice meal and having, a nice day out at a park or with friends, or whatever those things are. Cherish them and allow them to be those moments that you go, you know what? I'm just going to let go. Let go. I'm going to let go. I'm going to freaking just let go of it all. And I'm just going to be in the moment. Be in the moment. Feel the moment. Appreciate the moment. Find the gratitude and the thanks for every single moment. And then when you've done that and you start changing your mentality and the way that you view the world and everything that's happening around your world, then the beautiful thing is you're going to have another B word that's going to come into your life. And that is going to be balance. Because once you have balance, you can come and tackle it with another B word, which is building. You can build happiness and build a life that is full, and a life that allows you to not worry so much and feel so stressed and feel so crazy about it all. And then you wake up feeling a little bit happier. And I think that's how you do it. I think that's the key. I think that's the only way. And I think if you take all of that and you just, again, go back to what my mom used to say, you just gotta pray and hope for the best. And whether you're religious or not, prayer can be whatever you want that to be, whether it's a form of meditation, whether it's a form of you not even having to meditate, but just take 1 second of your day to take a really deep breath. And just be thankful for that moment. And live each of those moments to the fullest. Live each moment as if it's the last moment. You'll appreciate it that much more. Because in reality, the sad truth is, it may well be your last moment on this planet. You don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment, from moment to moment. So, make the most of those moments. Cherish those moments. Appreciate those moments. And, of course, I have to throw this in because you guys know how much I love saying this. It's through it all. Surround and ground yourself in love. Surround and ground yourself in love. Love is the key. I believe this to be true. So, that's what I was feeling. I wanted to share this video with you because I think, especially in these lockdown times and these quarantines and people, especially after getting a little taste of freedom, and a lot of people having that taken away from you. A lot of people waking up with that moment where they feel like, you feel a bit flat. So try it. See if it works for you. But that's my 2 cents, and I wanted to share that with you guys and hope that it was able to help someone else who might have been feeling that way that I was feeling. You know, you guys see me on camera and y'all see me, and I keep it 100 with you. You know, I tell you every single day, if I'm feeling a certain way, if I'm thinking a certain way, I'm gonna share it with you. And I know, even that being said, I do spend a lot of my time on camera, in front of the camera with you guys, but you know, there's times behind the camera where, even though a lot of people know me as being that happy person, that person who's the life of the party, who's always cheerful, who would cheer you up, you know, hey, it goes with also the title, you know, being someone who's in personal development, and you know, they're you know, constantly, you know, going to pick you up and inspire and motivate you, and that's what they do, and they must always feel that way themselves. And it's not true. I mean, at the end of the day, look at me. I'm in a human body like you. I'm on this planet. I'm experiencing a human experience just like you. So we all have our moments. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has a moment where it's like, I don't know if I feel like getting out of bed today, you know? We all have those moments. Certain things cause us to feel that way, but it's a reality that we all have from time to time. So, at the end of the day, I hope this video helps you when you're feeling that way, to find the strength to dig a little deeper, to get a little bit of that extra pep back in your step. Because if you're always thinking about that, you know what, things could always be worse, and if you find that thing that you can always be thankful about, I feel until the day you die, there's always something to be thankful for, as long as you have a breath. Because as long as you can breathe every day, as long as every single day you're what they say, six feet on top or over instead of 6 feet under or something, you know what I mean? So as long as you're alive, there's still hope, there's still something to be thankful for, you know what I mean? It's all about perspectives. It's all about your perception on how you perceive everything in your life, and every moment and everything. You have the power to change that and to make it something different. And really, guys, I have to emphasize this. No one on this planet, no one can make you feel or do or be or anything that you don't want to be or do or feel. A lot of people, and this is a reality right now in our world, even more so than probably ever in recent times. I feel a lot of people have lost a bit of that power. You're losing your power when you're out there saying that these people made me this, or they make me feel this way, my partner makes me feel this way, and my partner does this or that, whatever. Empower yourself. Empower yourself. Stop giving away your power. Stop letting people, you know, have that power over you and using that as an excuse and a scapegoat, you know. Stop doing that. Take responsibility. Take control of your own life. Stop being the blame game thing, you know what I mean? Stop putting it everywhere else. Take some initiative and some charge in your life. If you stay in a relationship that is not in your higher good, and they're, you know, doing negative things towards you in that relationship or whatever, and you stay there, how is, you know, that you taking responsibility for your own life? You have to find the strength and the power and say, yeah, I'm not going to put up with that. I'm going to get out of that relationship, you know? That's just one example. And, you know, and I know there's other factors. Sometimes people are afraid, they're scared, there's criteria, and I get it, and I've heard it a lot of different times, you know. You know, I've seen it. I've got friends. I've experienced that kind of stuff myself, where it's like I was in a relationship once. This is not going to be a long. I was looking at the countdown on the clock here on the video record. I'm like, I don't have enough time to really go into this video because I wanted to keep it kind of short. It's obviously something I think I just don't really do that really well. So I just got to go up the flow with it. But I will say this really, if I can do it in a minute. I was in a relationship. I've been in multiple relationships, but one in particular I'm talking about right now, where the person, I was afraid to break up with them and end the relationship because they said they were going to kill themselves. And it's not only when people say these things, because a lot of people say things in the heat of the moment and you just go, yeah. But when they start showing you that they're going to do that, when they try to look like they're going to commit suicide, when they're going to jump off of the penthouse balcony, when they're going to freaking break a mirror and take the glass and hold it in hand, or lay in front of your car so that you can't leave, you know, that kind of stuff. When you try to get away from this person, which I've had this happen, I really should share this story at some stage in its entirety, because it's absolutely crazy. But I eventually got away. They were chasing me out of the there was a train track with the thing going down, and I was like, I gotta keep going, man. I can't stop. I get out of here. At a point, you just reach a point where you know you got to get out of that situation. And the train track thing was coming down, and they went through the track, dude. That's just like, that's crazy love, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of love is not a healthy love for someone to have. And man, I gotta share that story another day because it's a whole story. But the long story short of it is, I was saved, and the lucky thing was my dad was Army. At the time, I was living on the base of my dad, and I was able to drive onto the Army base. And they got stopped because they don't have the Army, you know, pass and stuff to get through. And yo, dude, like, but it was crazy because for the longest time, I wouldn't break up with her. I wouldn't end the relationship. I wouldn't, because I was afraid that she would kill herself, and I felt trapped. I felt like I had to be there to keep her alive. But at one point, I realized it was like, wait a minute. I mean, this time, guys, hold on a second. I ain't going to be able to finish this. Hold on. All right, we back. Sorry, guys. I want to finish the story and finish saying what I'm saying because it all ties in kind of together with everything that this video is meant to be. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, there's a point. You reach a point where you go like, once you make that decision, and sometimes it takes longer for you to get to that point, you know, you let your fears get the best of you, and that is where we're headed with this video. Again, fear is the root to all things evil. I feel it takes you to the dark side when you let that fear creep up to you, and fear will destroy you. It will literally destroy you. And you start thinking these things, because in this situation, I was thinking I had this fear that if I left her, she would kill herself. And then suddenly I was living in fear. And that was keeping me from living my best life and being happy and you know, being able to move forward in a positive direction, because I suddenly let that fear consume me. And next thing you know, I was there. And anytime that I even thought about leaving, I was like, oh crap. You know, especially when they started acting out and being like literally like doing the things that people sometimes say. If you leave, oh, freaking this. Some people just say it. You get used to hearing them kind of just say it, and you don't take it that serious, because some people in the moment, they say things, and I don't think, a lot of times people don't really mean it. They just get really emotional. But then when people are acting out these things, you're like, whoa. So I was living in fear. But there reached a point where I realized, and I think that also might have been, you know, look, I grew up very Christian, very gospel. And so I think there's also a time when you just got to pray on it, you know, and you're like, you know, at that time I didn't have the same spiritual mind that I have now. That was when I was like a lot younger. And so I wasn't as spiritual as I am now. I didn't have the personal development background and training and things that I had now, or else it would have been a lot easier. I would have probably left a lot sooner. But that being said, I did kind of, I guess, if I think being Christian and just praying on it and just having a little bit of faith that, you know what, you just gotta, after some point in time, just say your prayer. And at the time, this is what I was thinking. My mentality, you know, was like, you know, you just gotta pray and be like, dear Lord, please watch over them. Please don't let them die. Keep them safe. and let me make the right decision that I need to make for me right now. That kind of thing is what was going through my mind at that time. And I did. I eventually just was like, I decided, I made a concrete decision that this is what I'm doing. I have to leave. I have to get out of this relationship. I have to go. And I did. And it was hard, but I knew I had to do it for my own health, my own sanity, my own livelihood. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. Like, sometimes we have to remember to have self-love. We have to put ourselves first. You know what I mean? Like, we have to love ourselves enough to do what we have to sometimes for ourselves, which is hard because, you know, it's when you're in a relationship and you have, you know, this, you do love these, you know, you obviously you love them at some point in time. You love them immensely, or you wouldn't have been there in the first place. And those are the hard ones. I think relationships are really, you know, maybe that's why I'm single now, you know, because I've actually had a lot of those relationships. I don't know what it is, but, well, so be humble about it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I guess I am a good person. I'm a nice person. I have a big heart, and I love unconditionally. And I think maybe some people have never had that in their life. Once they see it, they really gravitate to it. You know, one girlfriend I had who was a victim of child abuse and all these kind of things, she never wanted me to leave. Another example, geez, you know, I don't know, maybe I drive the girls crazy. I don't know. But it's like they fall in love with me really head over heels, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh my gosh, this is too, for me, I think it's kind of crazy because, like, I've been deep in love. I've been in that experience where I've experienced that, where I love someone so much where I guess I didn't want the relationship to end. I can understand why people get that way. I've been there. I've had all sorts of relationships and love, and I think there's times where you're like, that's the one for me, you know, and you get to this point where you want to do whatever you can to make that relationship work. In your head, you think you're making the right steps, you're doing the right things, and then you realize maybe not so much. And then there comes a point, I think, ultimately, where we all reach this point. I think no matter what it is, whether it's relationships, whether it's corona, going outside, food, life in general, I think we reach this point where we just kind of go, okay, you know what? I've got to do it. It's hard, but I got to do it because I know it's going to be the best thing for me. I know it's going to be the healthiest thing for me. I know it's the right thing, and I got to do it. And I got to embrace my fears. I just got to let go. I just got to do it. You know, because fear is crazy. Again, if you guys don't know, you know, fear is that topic, man. Fear is that topic. And someone like me, people go, oh, you're a teacher, or you're a holistic practitioner, or you're a hypnotherapist. I'm sure you don't have a problem with that. You just hypnotize it all away, right? It doesn't work that way. You know, the only person that can hypnotize anything away in your life is yourself. You are the one who has the control and the power to change your mind, to change anything in your life, to do anything, to be anything, to think anything, is you, your mind. It's your mind, guys. It's your mind. So when you start letting fear, this thing that doesn't really exist, it's not real, it's just you've created a whole story, a whole reality, a whole freaking absolute, this is what's going to happen. You've created an outcome that isn't even based in anything real, because that moment you've already decided, well, that's what's going to happen if that happens, if this, you know, you've created the outcome. You've given fear to life. You've basically literally brought fear to life. And that's why fear is really, really bad, because you've already, you're manifesting it. You know what I mean? You're manifesting those outcomes by having those fears. I speak from experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak from experience. I speak from experience because I have I put on seminars and workshops on fear. Okay, I've done many of them. You guys probably know, you know. But that's part of the things I do. as again, in case you got, maybe, actually I shouldn't say because a lot of people who are new to the channel maybe don't know, and you're watching this for the first time, you don't know. So I'll just quickly say, but I'm a certified hypnotherapist, personal development coach, holistic practitioner, outside of my music stuff, which obviously music's my first love. I sing, or I do all these things, blah, 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 blah. But across the course of my life, across the course of my life, fear has hit me hard. Has knocked me down, has kept me from freaking going where I could have went, but I didn't go because fear got the best of me. And that happens even now. I'll admit it, guys. Being a teacher isn't not about being perfect. Being a teacher doesn't mean that suddenly because you're a practitioner, you're a teacher, you're out there, it doesn't mean that you're not living life. On contrary, what it really means is that you've decided to share your journey and your experiences and your knowledge and your everything, with others to help assist them. You've allowed yourself to become a window. You've opened this window and you said, okay, you can look in and see my life, and hopefully by doing so, it will help you navigate yours, right? So I always say it, teachers are the biggest students. And for me, that is very true because I have my own fears, dude. I have my own fears. It's like I just told you early on in this video. I started thinking about all this food that I couldn't eat. I suddenly got a fear. I can't eat this. I can't do that. I can't be this. Like it becomes, and it will consume you. And suddenly, next thing you know, you're not eating anything because you can't feel you can't. And then obviously that's not good for you. You got to eat something, right? If you're not drinking water and you're not eating, you die. You have to do that as well. So so at the end of the day, it's about finding balance, okay? And that is hard even for me, okay? Even for me, it is hard to live a life where everything is always completely balanced, where my fears are in check, where I'm freaking feeling like every moment is the best moment ever. We all have our moments where that's not the case, right? We just feel bleh. And it's hard. It's not easy to do. But I implore each and every one of you, I implore you to absolutely think about that little thing I said, self-love. And think about that thing that I said every moment. And love yourself enough each moment of your life to be able to live that life in happiness, to be able to be all you can be, and let go of those fears. They will consume you, dude. They'll eat away at you. They will freaking drive you batty. I have so many stories. There's not enough time in the freaking day to share all of my stories. I truly don't have the time to even share this story, but I've made time because I just feel like this is something that every human on this planet, is going to go through at some point in time in their life. There's people who it's great. Let me tell you, when you have a lot of distractions and you don't have time to think that much, that's probably when you are living a life where you think you're really happy, because you don't have time to think about all the things that make you unhappy or that make you feel fearful, or what I mean, your thoughts are distracted, so you're not there. But when you are in an environment where suddenly you have no distractions and you are just alone with your thoughts, those thoughts can be horrifically scary, dude. Like, whoa, stuff that you didn't even know was there, stuff that you didn't even know was an issue, stuff that you didn't know was a trigger are there, and you're like, what the freak? Where did that come from? I didn't even know I had that ability to feel that way. I learned that about myself all the time because, there is a point in my life, I would say there was definitely a point where I felt like I don't actually think I could be anything but happy. I was every day just like, yeah, I'm living a life, I'm happy, things are great, life is good, going and performing all the time, being in studios and recording. I think that's another thing. That's for me. And I think if you do the same thing and you actually start really thinking about your life, you can really start seeing how you could easily become in that, and a bit in that rut and a bit of that, because like me, I'm also used to being able to perform, man. I remember that feeling. I had a bit of nostalgia myself. I freaking started Googling myself and trying to find old songs and things that I had been released and that I've done that I no longer have from another video I got to do at some stage about how all my stuff got stolen out of storage, things that are irreplaceable. And I started trying to see if I could find some of those things. I'm going to try to chase down some of these songs and things that had been released when I was signed to Sony and all these other things. Like, there's things I've done. Actually, I'll tell you quickly, and again, I just keep this really quick because this video, I wasn't planning on doing a whole freaking long super video, but now I guess that I've done this, it kind of feels like now it's become more of a podcast, but maybe that's why I'll just release it as a podcast. I don't know. Welcome to the Off Tap Podcast, freaking episode 3. I don't know, dude, seriously, let's just say that's what this is now, because it's not how it started, but I just realized I've been actually talking about things, and yeah, it could be a podcast. Maybe that's what it is now. I didn't have a plan for it. I was feeling a certain kind of way when this video started, and now I was like, next thing you know, I'm talking because I feel just motivated to do so. But let me tell you this right here, because this is another example of what I'm talking about, yo. So there's one particular person, obviously I'm not going to say their name, but they're a fan of me, which I did not know this, but they'd been a fan for many years of me. And the crazy thing about it is that, we have fans out there sometimes as entertainers, as artists, that we never know that they even exist. Sometimes, again, that fear thing for me, and it just becomes this kind of almost second nature. I don't want to say that, but you become very cautious when you have people these days who are saying they're your fan, and you start getting emails and things from them out of the blue, more than one, and you start feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit uneasy, because you're like, okay, are they like stalking me? Is this like, what's going on here? Is it legit? What's happening? Like you get a little bit like that. That's how I became anyways. I mean, everyone's gonna react differently, I guess, but for me, I get a little bit like, yo, because, and I think that right now I get that way is mainly because I'm not, to me, in my opinion, okay, other people may see it differently, but I'm nowhere near at the high point where I was in my entertainment life, you know what I mean? Like back when I was signed, there was a point in my life where I was on billboards, I was in commercials, I was all over the place, I was on like everywhere, man, and I was performing in front of big crowds regularly. We're talking twice a week. At certain points in times, I was in front of 17,000 people twice a week. There's so many things I was doing. I was performing in big venues all the time. I was DJ. Like, there was so many things all the time, regularly, constantly. So at that point in time, if I was being plastered all over the place, of course, I'm going to have more people who are going to recognize me when I go out, and I'm going to have these fans and stuff. Well, my life has changed drastically from that point in time, because now, as I moved to a country where no one knew who I was, and that's kind of ended up remaining that way. I don't have a big fan base of people who know me, here as the entertainer person that I've been. My big fan base is not in Australia, man. Surprisingly, not at all. I thought it would be bigger. I really did. By now, I thought it would be bigger, but it's not. And then, I guess for that matter, I mean, even back home in the States, I don't, I'm just another person in the States, probably the same way, like my fan base, which now is probably not as big as it used to be, obviously, because I haven't lived there in a long time, and I haven't been doing anything to further that over there, or really, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't targeted that market, but yeah, for me, there was a point in time where Japan was my place, and that was where I had made my success. You know, that's where I was living at one point in time. Definitely was my best life, you know. And I think the thing is I had all of those kind of just huge adrenaline rush kind of things happening in my life, where my adrenaline was freaking like just boom. You know what I mean? Like way up here, dude, way up here. Like, you don't understand the feeling of being in front of 50,000 people, 25,000 people, 15,000 people, all these big numbers of people, you know, like crowds of people, and they are there watching you. They're there watching you. They are there watching you. And then after the show, after the performance, you know, you're there signing autographs. You're freaking, you know, there taking pictures. I mean, it's this big adrenaline rush, dude, like the whole process. From the moment you even get there, even before the show starts, you're treated like you're VIP, man. You're shown like, you know, you're shown a lot of love, depending on the show. Some shows, they don't care. They didn't treat you as well as you would have liked to be treated. But in Japan, a lot of shows that I did, dude, Japanese people are very, very respectful. And, okay, I'm not putting everyone in a stereotype, but generally speaking, you know what I mean? Japanese people, they really pride themselves in service, and they're very good at showing respect to people, you know, on the most part. That's my experience anyways. Again, that's my experience. And so when that's just their normal operating level, kind of like Japanese people kind of operate like that. You see them all the time bowing, and if they did something wrong, they're really apologetic. And, you know, when you do something right, they're really happy for you. You know, like it's this thing, this really huge respect thing. So when you're a celebrity, or even you don't have to be a big celebrity, just be a little bit, there's this huge amount of respect shown to you. They really want to go out of their way, even more so than they already do, to make anyone feel special and nice and happy and comfortable and all that. They take it next level. So I was going into venues, man, super VIP setup for me, man. I'm talking the best of everything. I remember going into like shows, and you first you go in, they'll take you to dinner. You know, you have this really nice dinner and everything prior to, you know, like just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. And then after the show, you have another freaking whole lot of love shown to you, you know, the after show love. You got the before the show love, the after show love. And then when you way to the venue, to where you're going, like first class, dude. Like you're going. I was on the bullet train, dude. I would tell you bullet train story that some people don't even know exists, dude. Some like bullet trains already pretty cool, and they're a cool experience. Like Japanese trains, again, it's an experience, dude. Like, you know, you've got them bringing you oshibodis, which these freaking hot, wet steam towels, which everywhere you go in Japan, they're bringing you these hot, steamy towels, which you can use to freshen up. Everywhere you go, it's just, again, this courtesy, this respect for you as a human. They just giving you these hot oshibodis, and they bow for you, and they're like, here, please take this and refresh and feel good about yourself. And you take that, and you wiping your face down, your hands, and it's so refreshing. So when you go on trains, you go in restaurants, you go all these places, they give you these, right? And you're just like, wow, that's just amazing, right? And I used to love those hot towels, man. They feel so good. It's amazing how something so simple can just really make you feel some kind of way. I remember just having the best feeling just from that alone. But then that's just the beginning. They start bringing everything else at you. You're on the bullet train, and even if you're not in the, I think it was it called the red car or something? I can't remember, or the gold car or something. I can't remember. But just in the regular part, you already treat it nice. It's clean. It's beautiful. They're bringing you your bentos, you know, your Japanese meals. You know, you got these meals in Japan. They're very famous. The bento, have freaking your little bit of rice, maybe some yakiniku, you know, some fried beef, some teriyaki chicken, whatever, some vegetables, some pickles, whatever, miso soup. Oh, don't get me started about the miso soup. But you know, you get, you know, that kind of level of awesome service just in general, right? You'd be surprised how clean McDonald's is, by the way, over there. McDonald's is freaking clean, it's spotless. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? McDonald's is the next level experience. If you go to McDonald's in Japan, you're gonna be like, wow, this is McDonald's. Like, dude, everything is clean, hot, fresh. Freaking, they care. They care about what they're doing for you. They care, dude. They really care. There's this level of care, dude. I tell you. It's a level of respect for humans. Like, seriously, it's crazy. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, on the train. So on the train, and then so I would, like, they would get me into it's like basically the VIP carriage of the train. Like, it's the super nice part of the train. Like, a lot of people, if you don't know, you don't know about it. Most people don't even know about it. You walk into your own room on a train, dude, like a proper room. You've got a bed, you've got taps, gold taps, and everything in your room. Like, it's a proper, like, accommodation. Like, you suddenly walked into a 5-star accommodation on the freaking train. Dude, seriously, like, I experienced stuff like that. I remember when I had to go and perform in Okinawa, which is this island off of Japan. And I personally, again, I'm not, even though I've had to do a lot of flying, I really don't like flying. And there came a point as time progressed, and even now so, that I have my own kind of fear of flying now that's just progressed even more and more. 9/11 happened. That really messed up my mind, I'm sure, of a lot of people, and all this kind of stuff. And, again, an example of, like I said, fear creeps into all of us. We all have those things, no matter how strong we are, no matter how positive we think, no matter how much we can tell others. It's easy, I always say, it's easy to tell others this is how you should live your life, and this is the best way. It's even harder to apply those same things to yourself. That's why I said we're the biggest student ourselves. It's hard. But I remember going on this freaking ship that, like, I was like, I don't really want to fly, guys, please. Like, so like, okay. And luckily for me, I was, I gotta say this kind of stuff for being humble, but let's just say in my group at the time, I was kind of like Freddie, okay? So, I kind of had I was the show, you know what I mean? Like, I had to be there. I was an important part of the show. So, basically, I was like, dude, I really don't want to fly. Like, I just, particularly that day, was really feeling like, I just don't want to fly, man. I had major anxiety over it and didn't want to do it. And they're like, don't worry about it. We'll put you on a freaking ship or something. Next thing you know, I'm on a I'm in a VIP room on, this is not even, I don't even know, this is like a cruise ship with a VIP room that wasn't like the other rooms. Like, I had this big room where it had a TV and everything at the time. Like, it was crazy. Like, I don't even know if they probably do now, but it's been a while. But at the time, I had a TV, had all these things, had all the features, had everything. It was this really nice room, really beautiful, big, huge bed. Like, it was phenomenal, the experience. And it happened, the timing was really good too, because it was on Christmas. Okay. So Christmas, on a boat, really beautiful boat, and I was allowed to bring my girlfriend. So my girlfriend suddenly experiences this amazing Christmas. Like, this is just one of those things that it just happened that way. I couldn't even planned it. And so Christmas happens, a super awesome experience. I'm on this ship, spend 2 days on a ship, which there's more to the story, because on the way back, the seas got rough on the ship, okay? And let's just say that fear and anxiety suddenly now kind of got me all like, okay, ships, man, they're kind of scary too, man. Waves freaking got caught in the freaking super, like, wave storm kind of thing happening on the way back, dude. I was like, oh, hell no, man. This ain't what I thought it was going to be either. But out there in the water, there was a point I would say where I did get to see that iconic kind of freaking, you know, that sunset on the horizon, the water out there kind of thing. Yeah, I experienced that. That is beautiful. So, yeah, this kind of brings it back to, I was saying, calculated risk in life, right? You know, like, you know, this could happen or this could happen where I experienced that and it's great and nothing goes wrong, you know, it's like that kind of thing. But yeah, I had some great experiences that left me, and the reason I'm sharing all this, by the way, the show I did there was freaking off tap. Like, dude, obviously, because I was freaking feeling it. And suddenly just came rolling in there on a freaking ship. Which, again, could have its negatives and positives, because, like, everyone else was there really quick. They flew. And when you fly, obviously, you get to places a lot quicker. So if you have a fear and anxiety of all the things that could go wrong in anything, I guess if you fly, you're like, well, I can get this over with quicker, you know, because chances are nothing will go wrong and I don't have to torture myself as long. Whereas on a ship, you're extending that length of time where you're like, oh my gosh, man, what if something goes wrong? Holy crap! Man, we doing some talking today. Okay, hold on, guys. I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. For you guys who are now in podcast land, because I am uploading this to the podcast world as well, now that at some point I realized this was actually like a podcast, I might as well make it an off-tap podcast. This camera I'm using to record with right now goes for 29.59 minutes, and then that's it. Basically 30 minutes. That's it. You have to stop, and then you have to re-record again. Press the button. So that's what I just did. Which also just reminded me, I just realized that, yeah, we should probably live stream these type of things more, because I can live stream with no time limit, but the quality isn't as good, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What's the answer? Get a better camera, I guess, one that actually has no recording limits. I think that would be the go. That'd be great. But you gotta use what you gotta use in life, and that kind of brings us in for the touchdown segue. Boom, 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 boom. You gotta use what you got. May not be a whole lot. I have had to learn this lesson these days even more and more and more than I ever thought I would ever have to learn them. But we all have that, right? We all have things. My computers, for example, on this topic has had to teach me, I have had to relearn tons and tons and tons and tons more patience. Tons and tons and tons more patience, because the amount of recording and video that I do each and every day, looking at that clock, man, time is flying. The amount of recording and everything I do each and every day has now shown me the weaknesses of my. So see, when I wasn't recording videos every day, you know, and let's say I was only working on music or something, I wasn't recording every day, you know, you don't realize just how patient you really need to be with your equipment. And I never really thought about my equipment as being dated, you know, that much, because at the time when my equipment at the time was good stuff, you know. But technology changes and the size of files change, and video files keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger as technology increases. The file sizes increase, and programs that you use to edit said software and things like that, videos and things like that, continues to get more bloated and more technical, and more apps and different plugins and effects and etc. And all these things become really enticing on your system. They freaking give your system workout. You have to have a certain amount of memory, CPU power, and video graphics card power and all this on a minimum to make it work. And if you don't have enough, or you don't have the modern, more up-to-date versions of said CPUs, because again, as everything keeps progressing, those things become less powerful and not able to handle the load, depending what you do in life. You know, if you're just freaking browsing the internet and that's all you do is just freaking go to freaking Facebook, and provided you're not watching videos, but you know, you're just there and just, Jimmy's got a new dog. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Jimmy, congratulations, bro. Then yeah, you're probably good to go. You're probably Gucci. But when you are freaking doing videos and you're also wanting to render them in the best quality possible, and you're doing all these different things, and you're doing them and the file sizes get bigger, and the length of each video makes the file size bigger, and the bigger the file size, the longer it takes, the more demand on your system, the resources that need to be used to make it happen, etc., etc. So suddenly, every day, also, which happens, your car, your freaking computer, your whatever, after a while it gets just old and parts start failing and things start breaking and it just starts crashing, which you have to start dealing with as well. You just, things freeze and you're like, dude, come on, are you kidding me? And I cannot tell you how many times I've had to restart the rendering process of a video that I've just spent all this time editing, had to start over because the system just crashed. Boom. So you've just waited an hour or two for this video to render and it crashes. Oh, painful. You just want to cry. So I've come to realize that my systems that are now like, it's like pick which system. It's like a game of from bad to worse. Yeah, badder, the baddest, as opposed to good, better, the best. Again, it's all about perception in life, but y'all get what I'm saying. So it's like slow, slower, the slowest. That's what I experience right now. Messages pop on my screen. Yeah, slow, slower, slowest. I could change it and flip it other way, but really, no, I just feel slow, slow, slower. I never feel fast, fast, faster. But the point I'm making is that 10-year-old plus computers now, like, well, 10-year-old computers, about 10 years old or almost 10 years old. At the time, you know, in 2000 and freaking 9 and 2010 and stuff like that, 2000 and freaking 2000. I think my best computer is 2012, 2013 maybe. It's about 2013, I would say, somewhere around there, 2012, 2013, and that's my main system. And I've realized that, yeah, this thing just doesn't like what's happening with everything I'm throwing at it right now, and it just crashes and does all these things, and it does in life. Like when you don't have the right tools and things to do whatever it is you're doing in life, it affects your workload. It affects your ability to have flow, consistent flow, and to be efficient and to get things done, period. And that is why I'm sharing all this with you, because that is a reflection of your life in general. If you are not armed with the right tools, if you're not armed with the right things to get the job done, you will end up crashing. You will end up running out of steam. You will end up not being able to efficiently go out and do what you need to do because you have not been armed with the right tools. And that's why it's important when I say these things that I say, when I make these videos, when I'm trying to share my knowledge and these experiences with you, is because I'm speaking from my own experiences, my own journey, you know what I'm saying? And I know that these tools can be beneficial and can help you, can assist you to get over these big speed bumps. Suddenly, speed bumps are getting bigger too, by the way, metaphorically and lyrically speaking. Like, seriously speaking, dude, speed bumps on the road. They're building mountains at some places. And my car has a big spoiler in the front, and it's starting to become harder no matter how much of an angle I try to take it at to get over these speed bumps. That is life, guys. That is life. We are experiencing speed bumps every day, and they seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like now, look what's going on in our world today. Scratch my head to that. Look what's going on in our world. It seems like every day it's like, man, can it get any worse? I mean, 2020, I just don't even know. 2020, I'm expecting aliens to come any moment now. They're probably already here, but they're going to reveal themselves. They're going to let us know that they're here. They're going to freaking bring their alien spaceships here. And that's a story for another day, dude. We need to talk about that one on a podcast, that's for sure, because, I didn't want to freak you out and let you know that I'm probably an alien myself, but that's another story for another story on another day of another day. But ultimately, guys, what I'm saying is that that's life. Every day we're going to have moments. We're going to have speed bumps. We're going to have hurdles. We're going to have potholes. We're going to have freaking just days that we just, like, I can't do it anymore. I've had enough. I just want to switch off. And you're going to have those moments, man. Have those moments. That's why this video came to be in existence. Or I should say, it's a video if you're on YouTube, watch this. But if you're on freaking, what's it called? The podcast world, yeah, you've got an audio that's come to exist because of me feeling that way. And I feel it's so relatable. I mean, you cannot be on this rock and not feel this way. Another thing to drive me crazy is that we're like stuck on this rock. You start thinking about it, this rock, it's all we got. That's all we got. Think of how much trust and faith you have to have in every single thing. That there's so much like when you start thinking about all the things that are out of your control. You can't control this rock. Gravity, air, freaking, anything, you know what I mean? And that's why ultimately, I was actually going to finish this, by the way, 30 minutes ago. I actually had a nice, neat ending for it, and then I freaking started talking about the girlfriend. I know when it happened. When I started talking about the girlfriend chasing me down, freaking, that's when the topic started freaking coming all the way to all this other stuff. Because you just start reflecting and thinking about your life and thinking about all things. And let me tell you, at the end of the day, this is why I say what I say, and this is why I said earlier what I said. At the end of the day, you've got no control over it. You can't control what's going to happen in each and every moment. You just don't know. You know what I mean? Now, that's not saying you can't control what you do with those moments. You see what I'm saying? You may not be able to control the moment, the outcome, you know what I mean, of what your actions or lack thereof may happen in those moments. You may not be able to snap your fingers and be like, okay, so I'm going to do this and that's going to happen. You may not, be able to control that aspect, but you can control what you do with your moments, okay? Your choices, your decisions, okay? How you live each and every moment. Now you can control that. You can make a decision on how you're going to live each and every one of those moments. You're going to have the option to decide how you're going to think in each and every one of those moments. How you're going to move in each and every one of those moments. Now that's something that you can control. And therefore, ultimately, it boils down to your own choice on how you're going to live your life. Are you going to live a life that is controlled by your fear you've created, that you've manifested, that you've brought to life? Are you going to allow that to be your guiding force? I was going to say guiding light, but there's no light in fear. I believe that's just dark black. Or are you going to allow yourself the ability to be free? To be free in the moment. And I think that's what freedom really looks like. The ability in any given moment to be free, to live that moment to the best of the ability that you can, you know what I mean? Everyone's situation is different, I get that. Some people can't just go out and have a freaking $1 million trip around the world, or go to freaking Disneyland, or freaking even go up to the supermarket and spoil themselves with their favorite ice cream. You know, there's limitations. Everyone has things that they can and can't do at this point in time. But you can control what you do with that moment, and you can use what you have in that moment to the best of your ability to live your life to the fullest. Okay, to your fullest. Your fullest may look different than someone else's, but ultimately it's about letting go and allowing yourself to do so, and letting go of the fear that keeps you from doing so, because that fear generally is the big driving force that's keeping you from having said ice cream or, you know, that trip around the world, or a lot of things, because a lot of people, again, are afraid to just let go in their life and go for it, and to just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. What's the worst that could happen? I could fall down, I could fall flat on my face, I could whatever, but at least you tried. Correction. I hate using the word try, you guys should know, because try to me means you didn't really believe you could do it in the first place. You know, I believe try is that word, like, I'm going to try to do it. No, if you're going to try to do it, I mean, you're already saying to yourself, I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to try. Yeah. You're not really invested if you're just trying. If you could have said, I'm going to just go out there, I'm going to do it, that's definitive. That means you've made a decision. You're not 50-50. You're not like, I don't know, I'll just give it a try. No, you're like, boom, dude, I'm doing it. I'm going out there and I'm going to freaking give it my best shot. I'm going to freaking go for that job that I always wanted. I'm going to freaking go for freaking that girl that I always wanted. I'm going to freaking go to that place I always wanted. I'm going to, this moment, just love myself like I always wanted, which I'm going to love others. I'm going to help others like I always wanted. I'm going to freaking, there's so many different things. I can't tell you how you feel. Like, you need to take a moment to search your heart and your soul, see how you feel. Connect with yourself and find out what are the things that matter to you in life. What makes you happy? What's going to put that smile on your face? What's going to make you feel alive? What's going to get you out of bed every day? What's going to get you out of bed? What's going to get you out of bed? What is that thing that's going to get you out of bed? Think about the things that put a smile on your face, that make you feel happy. And along the way, guys, you're going to learn that there's always something that you can be thankful for and find happiness in. There's always something. It may be that you have to improvise a bit right now, as we all do because of the current situation. But if you're still living each of those moments to the fullest, it's going to be okay. It's all about perceptions. And learning to find gratitude and contentment, you know, and being able to just be thankful for what you do have. And my 3 slow computers is a good example of that. I've got slow computer number 1, laptop number 2. No, laptop. Okay, slow computer number 1, main computer would be the main dude. He's slow, but he's still out there. Still out there. Then laptop number 2 is like, you know, I'm slow, but I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna keep on. I ain't giving up on you. Computer number 3 is the slowest. It's like, Man, it's hard to get out here every day. But you know what? I'm out here. And even though I have to fight a bit harder to get that CPU going, I'm still go for it. And then they say, that one saying, doesn't matter about how fast or quick you get there, as long as you eventually get there at the end. It's not always just the getting there. It's the journey and the lessons that you learn along the way. Because yeah, look, hey, there's gratification and there's this happy feeling to know that you've accomplished your goal and that you've made it, that you've gotten there. Even when you've flown there super quick, when it came easy, when it seemed like you didn't have that many speed bumps to get there, when you finally get somewhere, no matter how quick or slow or fast, whatever, you feel happy. You feel like, oh, we made it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've gotten there. Touchdown. Yes. But when you take a moment to reflect on the journey there, and when you've had to really dig in deep to get there, and when the journey had a lot more bumps and grumps and blinds and holes and all that, that reflection and the lessons you learned along the way, it's priceless. Sometimes the journey to somewhere is even better than the actual getting there. Because once you get there, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm here, now what? Or you're let down, you get there and you're like, okay, I'm here and, that's not what I thought it was going to be at all. That wasn't actually it. Okay. Or it's okay, but then along the way, you actually learned how to live and appreciate each of those moments. So getting to the destination was kind of more of just the icing on the cake. It's like, okay, cool. But I'm good. I'm good, G, because I've been enjoying the process and the trip, the journey along the way. I've had a good time. I've cherished and valued each and every one of those moments. I've come to really appreciate every second, every moment. So suddenly the journey along the way became awesome and amazing because you're like, ooh, I remember I stopped here and I had this experience and this happened and I learned so much from that experience and I got here and then this happened and then so on and so on and so on. And suddenly there's this trail of growth, massive growth in your life where suddenly you've actually become a better person along the way. And you are not only living your best life on retrospect, but you suddenly realize that, wow, I've also started to grow and become a better person and reach a higher state of consciousness, of spirituality, or whatever it is that you yourself are striving to achieve in life. But ultimately, growth, becoming a better you, I think that ultimately is the goal for everyone. To be better than you were yesterday. To be better than you were 2 years ago, 5 years ago. To grow as a person. No matter what you do in life, I think that's the goal, right? No matter what it is, even if it's in simplistic form of you just wanting to be the best you can be, right? Like no matter what it is. You know, playing a sport. You want to, if you was only scoring 5 points a game, your goal might be, I want to be able to get to the point where I'm scoring 10 points a game. You know, maybe you could only run for 10 miles and you've been training hard and now maybe you can do 20. You know, maybe you were working a job and you're like, I want to freaking reach manager, you know, or VP or whatever. I want to start my own business one day, maybe. That's your goal. You know, like there's all these different things in our life where ultimately your goal is to elevate yourself, right? You want to rise up. You want to rise up. You don't want to stay down here. You want to rise up. You want to elevate yourself. You want to reach that next level. Even we're kind of taught that as a kid, right? You're always wanting to strive to reach that next grade. It's part of the process. You want to graduate, and then you want to keep furthering yourself. You want to reach new levels. And that, again, that process to do so, on retrospect, is where you're going to do your most growing and maybe have the most life-changing and beautiful moments of your life. Of your life. And it can come sometimes when you least expect it to. That faith that you have to have, that belief that you have to have. The reward, the finish line, the whatever you want to call it. That moment when you realize that, wow, I'm doing it. I'm doing it every day. I'm living it. I'm creating it. I'm actually living my best life. I'm happy. I'm smiling. I'm loving others. I'm loving myself. I'm loving life. Wow. Where did that come from? When did that happen? That happened the moment you made the choice. The moment you decided that I'm going to live each moment to the fullest. That I'm going to live each moment to the fullest. And keep it off tap. No boundaries, no restrictions, no limits. No fear keeping me, prohibiting me from going out there and being the best me that I can be. Living the best life that I can live. Living each moment to the fullest. Someone out there right now, whether you're looking at me on your screen right now, whether you are listening to me in your car, someone out there needed to hear this. Someone out there needed to hear this. I can feel it. Because you know why? I'm looking at you, but I'm looking back at myself. Because I needed to hear that myself today too. You have to remind yourself sometimes, even if you know it. You gotta remind yourself sometimes, and that's how this whole video, this podcast, how it came to be in existence right now. I love you. I appreciate you. These are the things that make me happy. Being able to just to open up and share and to communicate and to connect with all of you. And you guys let me know that you feel the same, being able to connect. That's why a lot of you guys are part of this channel, part of this family that we're growing, that's growing every single day, that we keep reaching milestones every day. You gotta stay strong and you can't give up. I speak from experience. The biggest milestone, for me, I didn't think I would there was a point I didn't think I'd get 1,000 subs on my YouTube channel. I didn't think I'd get freaking people 1,000 views on a video and 1,000 subs and all these things that now happen regularly for me. I didn't think, and now it's happening. And that's the point, is that through it all, you just gotta have trust, and you just have to keep the faith, and you gotta stay strong, and you have to not give up. You have to just keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Stay grounded in truth. Stay focused on your goal. And that goal can be as simple as living each moment to the fullest. That's my goal. I want to live each and every second to the fullest. Because remember, those moments, once they're gone, they're gone. You can't get it back. So live each moment to the fullest. Live each moment to the fullest and keep it off tap. I love you. And I'll catch you on the next video. Or podcast, depending where you are, what you're listening to, what you're doing. Alright. Guys, thank you. Chat soon. Stay safe. I love you.